Welcome back to Riverside Royals Dynasty here on NCAA 14 College Football Revamped. As today we're going to take on 1-3 Georgia Tech. Although they're struggling, we are not doing much better. Just 1-4. Although our first win came in the last episode. So if you didn't see that, you should go back and watch it. It was a ton of fun. And I've kind of kept a similar theme to how I'm structuring our recruitment of a number of different players right now. Except I added more points on a Cameron Hinton. As long as we're gaining points in the top schools tab, we're going to be in play to get some of these players. And of course, with this recruiting mod, I would say that I'm learning overall doesn't matter quite as much as the actual individual attributes. Now, Kahi Inoke here has 96 speed, 80 route running, 80 release, 77 spectacular catch, a number of great things. Only 59 catching, but I would say overall he looks better than a 69. But it really becomes incredibly apparent with these cornerbacks. Levert Abraham is only a 67, but his 87 speed, 87 man, 72 zone, 90 press. Linwood Tapley has 88 speed with 90 man coverage, 80 zone, and 71 press. And that's better than a high 60s or mid 70s overall player in those different circumstances. So we're going to continue to go after the players that look the best regardless of overall. But also, when the overall is pretty high, it usually means you're going to have a pretty good player on your hands as well. So we're just going to continue to get whoever we can. Kicker is going to be a problem. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal. We are incapable of hitting a field goal right now, as some of you will know. So I added a punter onto the board. A lot of kickers just are not even considering us at this point. And if they're not going to consider us, we won't have a kicker. There's almost no one that we can go after. So our best bet may be going after a punter and sticking them at kicker, which isn't great, but it's certainly better than the alternative. But here we go. Let's hop into our hopeful second win of the year on the road at Georgia Tech. Should be an interesting one. Had a big win last week. Georgia Tech is certainly in that same overall range where I feel like we have a decent chance to beat them. They're not really averaging too many points per game, a little over 2 touchdowns, and they're allowing on average 4 touchdowns per game. So if there's ever a team that we have a chance to actually stick with, I think it's going to be this Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets team, and it's raining in Georgia. That might work to our advantage on the ground. We did everything that we possibly could have done an episode ago to actually get that win. We used 4 different quarterbacks, and I think only 2 of them were true quarterbacks. We had a backup running back come into play QB. We had a return man defensive back come into play quarterback. It was an absolutely wild one, but all that resulted in actually getting a win. And it's not like the NFL. There is no benefit to tanking in college football. You want to win every game you can, and I'm trying to win every possible game for the sake of recruiting better players and building a better program. So we're not trying to take it slow season 1. We are trying to win every game, just with the current strength of the roster and the strength of the opponents that we're playing, that has proven to be a little bit difficult. Coin toss is always whichever one I don't choose. I always choose heads, and it's never heads. And then I go ahead and switch to tails, knowing that it's never heads, and it's heads. So we start with the football as opposed to actually kicking the way I'd prefer. And we'll see what we can do against Georgia Tech. We have to remember, the way to win is to keep the football on the ground. Now, we've struggled at times to actually do that effectively. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, on that counter run outside, it didn't really look like there was a ton of space open to the outside, so we try to go back up the middle, and there's not really a ton of space up the middle. So, it'll be interesting. They're going, it looks like a 3-3-5 setup. They have 3 down, 3 deep, which is a very interesting defense. It's actually a defense that has, I did not hand the ball off. I don't know, how did I hit X there? How is that possible? It's actually a defense that Texas football in real life has struggled against. You know, you've seen teams like TCU bring it out a lot over the past couple of years. And Sark didn't really make a ton of adjustments in year 1 against TCU, or I would say last year actually. But it looks like he did this year, as Texas got the win. However, their college football playoff chances seem kind of slim right now, and I don't know what we're doing here on offense. Looking to scramble with Dan Sims, and we might actually have an avenue here, and Dan Sims gets 14 on the ground and picks up the first down. It was looking to be a nightmare start for us, but we end up turning it around and finding some success, converting a 3rd and long on the ground with a quarterback scramble. Surprised by it? Not mad at it at all, as Dan Sims is healthy this week. Hopefully he's a big catalyst to our victory here against Georgia Tech. Now, we can throw the ball a little bit as long as the football comes out really quick. We don't let Dan Sims throw down the field. We know that we're going to experience some drops, but we're able to hit some of those really shallow crossers and check downs to the running back pretty frequently. And that's kind of been a way we found success in the passing game as we're under pressure with Dan Sims. We're going to try to cut this back up the middle, and Sims ends up getting 3. Now, we can't do that every time. Oftentimes, it's probably smarter to take the 0-yard gain and throw it away rather than pick up 3 yards with the added risk of a fumble. So, really rolling the dice there, and thankfully it works out, and we don't actually end up turning over the football as Troy Jones finds a few. Again, I keep seeing lanes, and we're just not really able to hit them with any meaningful amount of urgency. I just don't think we have the athletes in order to do what we want to do. As Stephen Jones, no, that was actually Troy Jones who drops it over the middle. And on 4th and 5, yeah, I guess we'll punt. I don't love it here, but I think our punter is going to be able to handle this from this amount of range. It's a little bit tougher to punt, inside your own 30 because we know it's going to be, Georgia Tech football at around midfield or whoever we're playing that week, right? As Mosby returns in a decent ways. Like, our kick coverage is not good enough, but also our punting is not good enough. It's just got a lot of holes right now, and certainly not going to fix this team overnight. Next year I expect to be better, but I don't know that we're going to be that good, as already Georgia Tech is ripping off a big run to Scott Johnson. He goes for more than 30. It's going to be a long game. 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech. They go right back up the middle. And Scott Johnson, who picks up 5. Might see a few different running backs today, but Scott Johnson seems to be getting the bulk of their carries here early. Just 2 attempts, but they really haven't run that many plays, and they haven't had to, and they probably won't have to. It's a lot of big plays when you play the Riverside Royals, and they check down to Muhammad as Bobby Muhammad gets 5. Keep Georgia Tech out of the end zone. They settle for a field goal, that's kind of fine, but Muhammad is going to bully his way into the end zone. I'm not making any type of jokes with anything going on. I'm not an idiot, okay? But Muhammad profits from the pass there and gets it into the end zone. Georgia Tech goes up early. And look who it is back to return. It is Rivera, who was actually a quarterback for us last game. Oh. Are we dead? We are dead. All right, we are back at Georgia Tech, and the rain has mysteriously let up. Oh, great, we're disconnecting again. Here is the deal. Game crash. We were probably about due for a crash. I don't know if I've had one since we've returned the series. That's just what happens sometimes. We've given Georgia Tech the points. We have about 2 more minutes than we otherwise would have, but this is as close as we can get to the scenario. Dan Sims threw an interception in the Super Sim. It was not me. Not that it matters anyway. No one's like, dude, you're playing so badly this series. Your team's so good. How are you not winning? That's not happening. You guys aren't dumb. Obviously, the team is not where we'd like it to be. I'm sure I'm not doing them any favors. Yeah, but we'll try to get it near like 3.5 minutes or whatever it was. And then it'll be about the same scenario. But all I know is we were down 7, as that is a dart from Dan Sims, dropped by Stephen Jones. 3rd and 1 as we approach midfield. Need Troy Jones to just go right up the middle as he puts the football on the turf. Jacobs recovers for Georgia Tech, and he is running as slow as I've ever seen anybody move, and yet he's faster than my entire team. Touchdown, Todd Jacobs. Georgia Tech goes up by 2 scores. Well, try as I might, it's Murphy's Law. I gotta have a player named Murphy on my team. Anything that can go wrong will. And that is what's happening to my team on a consistent and regular basis. It's going to be 14-0 Georgia Tech. And we are not even back to the 3-minute mark yet. Their center just got obliterated, as happens on most plays. This is what we saw last game, although I didn't commentate on it. But Louisville, big win over number 2 Clemson. Massive upset. And here we are back on offense after a Steve Rivera, electric return. Oh, we forgot to plug it in, actually. Not quite as electric as we always expect from Steve Rivera. Although, what a quarterback he was a week ago. Got to give him credit. He threw the ball, threw an interception on one of his few attempts. That's disastrous. Listen, we're bad. I'm trying to overcome it, but even simple things that feel like they're going to work in my head don't actually work in practice. And we're sacked. It's a fumble, and Riverside jumps on it. But you can't do that. Get rid of the ball. You cannot just hold on to it. Nothing good is going to happen. You can't just stand there and wait for somebody to get open, because not only can you not make the throw, if somebody did get open, nobody's getting open. And even if they were slightly open, they weren't open because we don't have the arm to hit it. There's a slant, or a screen, they're all over it. Only a 17-yard return, and Georgia Tech is basically in the red zone. So that's what we're dealing with. There's a pancake, Crawford with a gain of 8. It's a read option. We actually played it pretty well, but we just can't get off a block. But we read that it was read option at least. That's nice. 21-0 Georgia Tech. Although, we came back from a very similar scoreline, if not the same exact scoreline, a week ago, and we had way less time to do it. This game's far from over. Except that it is. Oh, Rivera to the open field. Electricity indeed from Steve Rivera. It is a 48-yard return. And we're not going to do anything with it, but wow, what a good look. Stepping up with Sims. He's got plenty of room, and we're going to wisely slide down. Okay. If we had a kicker, we'd be approaching field goal range. But we don't. So, we're approaching nothing range. That's what's happening. Nothing. There's Jones, though. It's all right. I love to just call pass plays over and over and over again. And you know what? Sometimes it works out. And look at Troy Jones breaking a tackle. He picks up 8. We are playing like a different team here on this drive. And I like it. Because, listen, I'd trade teams with just about anybody. Spin a wheel where I could play with any other team in college football. And oh my god, I would do it in a heartbeat. A second. And we are frozen again. I'm sure these controller disconnects are not doing us any favors. Here's what we're going to do. We are struggling to get through this Georgia Tech game. We're going to simulate a little bit and jump in where we can, and we will see what happens. I'm sorry about this, but it's been a lot of freezes, a lot of crashes. I wonder if Georgia Tech has anything to do with it. I know it sucks, but it's also Season 1. It's not the worst thing that this is happening. Obviously, do not want this to happen in the future, but it could be a worse time for it. It could be the national championship a few years down the line, and we're not able to get through the game. We safetied them somehow. Okay. And then Outlaw's pass was intercepted by Jay Brewster. Who are these players? Is Outlaw the quarterback of Georgia Tech all of a sudden? Oh. Freshman quarterback Courtney Outlaw came in and threw an interception, as we have 2 sacks from Richard Holt, 1 from Lamar Simmons, threw an interception to senior corner John Brewster. How in the hell did you get on the field? Well, to be fair, there are not a lot of options, but all right. It is actually somehow a game versus Georgia Tech here. Although, I'd be happy to just accept the loss because, you know, we were down 21-0 actually playing the game. And now, we're only down by 2. But who knows if the first run around would have had us losing by 21-0. That was attempt number 2. But now the score is getting a lot closer to where it was. Although, another touchdown. Dan Sims finds Troy Jones for a 15-yard TD. Capping off a pretty good drive. And we are actually in this game. I know it sucks to simulate here, but, you know, it's like a rebuild in a way. Okay. Final 2.5 minutes. We're down by 5. Oh, man. Georgia Tech looking to take time off the clock. If we're able to get to the end of this, that would be a miracle. So much so that I wouldn't even really mind losing a ton, other than thinking that this is actually a team we can beat. But then also, when we played, it didn't really look like a team we could beat. They were playing really well on offense and better than us on defense. And that clock is ticking. Okay, 4th and 10. We have managed to force a punt. Such a bizarre game, I'm aware. Rivera's going to let that go into the end zone. I was worried that was a freeze. And our second half offense really hasn't been too bad. 130 total yards. But we have no timeouts. 1 minute and 37 seconds to drive down the field and try to win this game. Touchdown wins the game. Regardless of whether or not we nail the extra point, Dan Sims is sacked. 3rd sack of the day for Hudson. And you just, as I've talked about, you cannot hold the ball for that long. You just have to find somebody to throw it to and live with the results. Because when you get 2nd and 3rd and obviously 4th and long, you just don't put yourself in a position to win the game at all. 18 for 53 for Dan Sims. 53 attempts. Been on offense a lot. We're going to try to scramble. There's a little bit of space. We need a little bit of speed. Dan Sims diving first down. He obviously just doesn't have the arm, and we don't have the receivers to convert any type of consistent basis on 3rd and long. That throw on the run, not even close. Okay, 3rd and 9. This isn't necessarily the game right here, but it's close as we're going to lob it to Johnson as Clarence Johnson comes up clutch. 16 seconds to go. That clock's going to start moving here in a minute. We need to figure out a way to stop the clock and also get yards really quickly. We're going to roll out and throw it away. Might have been better off with a sack there as we nearly throw an interception. John Sapp, lurking linebacker, just running straight back to where we were going to throw the football, trying to get out of bounds pretty quickly. We have just 8 seconds. I'm trying to get into any type of lob it into the end zone range, and it's proving to be quite difficult. But then we're going to scramble and throw on the run. We find Troy Jones. If he didn't, oh my goodness, if he didn't end up breaking the tackle, we wouldn't have been able to stop the clock with the first down. We will end up having a shot to the end zone here. Snap the ball. Snap the ball. No time to wait. Last play of the game. Throwing it up to Harris. And it is incomplete. We're going to lose the game. I know that ends up being a little bit like, you know, anticlimactic there because the freezes, the super sim, you know, there's no payoff at the end because there's no grind to get there. We just pretty much instantly insert ourselves in a gotta have it situation. So I apologize for that. I wish there was something I can do. It's an old game ported onto an emulator on PC. There are just going to be some crashes sometimes for one reason or another. I think maybe Georgia Tech has something to do with it. Maybe that's not true. There could be any number of variables involved. I'm sorry if it ruins the episode a little bit. I certainly didn't want it. And it's just something we have to live with, unfortunately, on occasion. So, of course, we're going to do a double header in this episode because the first part of the header was like a 3-inning baseball game. And maybe not even. But we're going to get a full one, hopefully, against Northwestern, who, unfortunately, will be a little bit better than Georgia Tech is. At least I expect so. You know, I think Georgia Tech was sub 80 overall. I expect Northwestern to be somewhere around the 82-83 range. Now, they could certainly be lower than that or significantly higher, as a couple of really big gem recruits end up committing other places, which is unfortunate but expected. Although Northwestern is just 1-5 and they are an 83 overall. Do I know this game or what? I don't know how to win necessarily, but I do know a thing or two. Now, the great part about progressing through the season is that, we get closer and closer and closer on, bringing in some of these big-time recruits, and Justin Lingard is certainly one of those. It seems like we're absolutely going to get him. Other schools are really just dropping off the face of the earth. No one's really going to be getting him. So I would say Justin Lingard almost certainly will end up being a Riverside Royal. I do want to take off a couple of points, although not too many. This might be the biggest recruit we actually get, impact-wise. 90 speed, 80 route running. This guy could certainly actually help us throw the football and find success through the air. And that's going to be a big difference with this team. I've even given my computer a day to kind of relax and take it easy and hopefully come back and not freeze against 1-5 Northwestern. As I mentioned, they are an 83 overall, and let's see what we can do against them. And we do have the benefit of being back home in Riverside, California. Northwestern is not a particularly good defense at all. So this is a winnable game. Now, our struggle continues to be actually stopping teams when we're on defense. That's a big issue. But if we can just make a couple of plays, have our offense keep us in the game, which I know is asking a lot, we might be able to find a way to win here at home, steal a victory, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do. And we will start by returning the football, and if you ignore a couple of empty seats here and there, it is absolutely packed at Royal Field in Riverside, California. Good blocks to start, and Steve Rivera takes it to about the 25-yard line. Honestly, about as good field positioning as you can pretty much ask for. We don't really have much in the way of explosive returns. Every now and again, you see one. We saw one against Georgia Tech before the freeze, right? But mostly you can't expect a ton. And we're going to get sacked through our own offensive lineman. James Coleman knocked down the left or right tackle. Excuse me. No, I knew it wasn't. He moved over, and our own right guard basically sacks Dan Sims. Sprinted back into him. Now, we need to get rid of the football a lot sooner than that. And now we're kind of forced to throw. I was trying to go short, but didn't really see anything I liked. And now we're going to have to go a little bit longer if we want any type of chance of converting. Quick throw could be in order, or a quick rollout, and we are already under pressure. Dan Sims is going to evade a sack, though, and he's open down the sideline, takes a huge hit, but picks up 24 in the process. Dan Sims. Let's go. And now we can actually run the ball a little bit. There goes Troy Jones. We'll pick up 7, and I'll be very happy with that. 7 yards every time. We'll never not score a touchdown. It'll be beautiful. Although I don't need 7 here. They're also going 3 down. And we'll see if we can just run by them with numbers. And that's pretty much what we do. Northwestern giving us a bit of a cushion. Strong safety coming up. This honestly looks like the perfect time for a wide receiver screen. And that's exactly what we're going to do. It works out fairly well. Harris actually manages to evade a would-be tackler and gets 7. It didn't look super pretty, but the result was actually fantastic as Dan Sims' first actual attempt is completed. And on 2nd and 3, again, we're trying to go short here. We just can't get sacked. Get rid of the football, find a place to go with it, and Sims misses for Antoine Davis coming across the middle. Again, he's our best receiver, but we are very rarely able to actually get the football in his hands because of a number of variables, and most of it begins and ends with not having a real quarterback. We're going to run the ball on 3rd and 3. There goes Holmes. Plenty of space, and it's a big first down for the Royals. 16 yards for Anthony Holmes. Moves the chains. His first touch is a great one. Troy Jones getting a rest here early. Good blocks on the outside as well. And we are having a phenomenal drive to start things off. This is, again, about as well as you could expect things to go. Do I like a first down pass? Again, it's very, very short range. We're going to try it. We're going to throw quickly, and Antoine Davis had it in his hands. I guess kind of heard footsteps there. Couldn't end up reeling it in. He is good usually. You know, when we're actually able to hit him in the hands, he usually does catch it. Not on this occasion. Couldn't deal with the pressure from the corner coming in. We'll try to run the ball. And Jones will have just enough speed to not get tackled for loss, but it's only a short gain, and it is 3rd and 7. I would say it's 4-down territory. Remember, we don't have any type of kicker, really. But I think it's going to be Ewing or Troy Jones out of the backfield. That's my expectation, and we're going to look to run. Try to cut back up, and that's a great play. Dan Sims gets 5. Of course, Northwestern happy they keep us, you know, from converting. But we're in a phenomenal spot to actually end up converting on 4th down. Let me go back to halfback dive. I like the way that is. We could actually look to the fullback here in the future. Already called the play, and I don't know if I like the way it looks. Safety's creeping up. We're going to see if we can move the chains, and we do! Troy Jones right up the middle. Now, everybody crashed down on type of like a run blitz almost, and we were just able to run right by it. Almost worked like a trap. That was beautiful. One of my favorites here. Troy Jones going to motion outside, and then Holmes is going to take it right up the middle, kind of on like a fullback dive, and they were all over it. Anthony Holmes loses 3. Yeah, they were ready for the inside run there. That's going to potentially complicate things a little bit more. Jones in motion again. Obviously can't be a run here. And Sims with the design throwaway. Beautiful stuff. God. Passing is just a recipe for disaster, but it's 3rd and goal now from the 10. And I saw the same on 2nd and goal. I'm like, we should just try to pick up 5 through the air maybe. I'm going to roll out. Sims, they're ready for the quarterback run. And they are able to contain him. 4th and goal. They want us to try a 24-yard field goal from the right hash. You know what? We're going to bring out the kicker. I don't feel great about it, but there's the possibility of making this. And we're going to try it. Kick is up and good. A 24-yarder. That might have been good from 26 even. What a kick. As Purdue looks to upset number 5 Wisconsin. It's still very early, but what a start. We don't come away with 7, but we get the next best thing. It'll be really interesting to see what we actually look like on defense, though, because that's where we've experienced a lot of troubles so far this year. Evan Ward gets 9, and they're just going to be content running the football, and they're doing so successfully because they just don't get tackled. You know, sometimes we are in the wrong position. We're not able to make the tackle. Went inside there as opposed to outside. But it's a broken tackle that sprees the running back for more yards, and then it's a 15-yard gain as opposed to, you know, maybe only 4 or 5, which we can live with. 15, that becomes a little bit tougher. And here's another first down for Northwestern. Having an easy drive right now. And there's another big pickup. We're going empty here. Smith comes in motion, though. It still could be a run. And they kind of fake it. Ward under pressure, dumps it down. Wesley Price can't make the tackle. Murphy can't make the tackle. And Smith is pushed out after a gain of 9. But yeah, tackling is a major, major issue for the Riverside Royals right now. You know, obviously speed is as well. We're not able to get in great positions to make plays. But these missed tackles are just killers. And there is another one. Ward goes back to the inside. And the Northwestern offense is cruising right now. The one thing we have going for us right now is that it becomes a little bit more difficult to move the ball in the low red zone if you're going to try and throw. Just spaces get so condensed. And even running becomes a little bit more difficult. You just got to be capable of making a play. A false start could really help us. That's what it's going to be. So they're going to back up. It'll be 2nd and goal still, but this time, I believe this backs them up outside of the 10. I don't think they were that close. No, about the 9.5-yard line. Gonna go from empty. Let's pass commit. We're still going to blitz. Just need us to make a play individually. It was a quarterback draw, and Ward is swallowed up for a loss of 3. That's Pierre Wilkerson. Had a nice game a couple of weeks ago in the last episode, and makes a nice play there. It is 3rd and goal. As I said, it becomes a little bit more difficult to move the football around these parts, and we'll try to keep them out of the end zone. A tie game I really wouldn't mind. And they're going to throw towards the end zone. Brewster is there. Pass is caught by Myers for about 10, but it's going to be 4th and goal, and Northwestern will just settle for a field goal try to tie things up, and it should be 3-3. We're going to be aware of the fake potential for that to happen, but they just kick it, and that's good. So 3-3, still very much in this game, obviously, and hopefully we can keep things going and actually come away with a touchdown as opposed to just 3 points when we're on offense. I didn't hate the first drive. Obviously we're going to make mistakes. Just not a very good team. But if we can limit those mistakes and find ways to consistently move the football, it's going to be tough to lose. But that's obviously a lot easier said than done. And we're just going to throw it away. First down, we can't mix it up. It really just can't be a pass down. We have to run on first down because 2nd and long is just tough because the open space is obviously there, wide open up the middle, yet we don't have the speed to hit that, and it's 3rd and 7 as opposed to, nearly a first down. That's the end of the first quarter. I don't love our chances on 3rd and 7. Could end up being 4 down territory. Have to see what happens. If we can make it 4th and 1, I might try it. Again, we know our punter cannot punt. So we'll see what happens. And we're already flushed out of the pocket, but there's plenty of space. We're going to get a block. Dan Sims with plenty of space, and he's still going. Sims down the sideline, and we're already up near 100 yards rushing. Dan Sims has quite a lot of those, and they just blitzed everyone right up the gut. Left the outside wide open, and took a bad angle on Sims, giving him maybe an extra 10 yards or so. He's not a mobile guy. But he's forced to be because he's also not a pocket guy. He's really nothing. He's really not even a person. And we're going to throw it. I said first down has to be a rundown, yet I pass. It's a short pass, but it's actually successful. Read option. Keep it with Sims. Plenty of space, and we're going to slide ahead of a would-be tackler. I think he was about to get his head taken off. Looked like a guillotine coming down, but we saved the life of Dan Sims. And this counts as a run almost. It's a screen. We're ready for it. Jones is there, got a couple of blocks, and we're able to pick up 6. The CPU just loves calling for passes on first down, and I love zoning out and just clicking the first button that comes up and passing the football. It really has to be a conscious effort to run the football consistently. It's 3rd and 2. I really think this almost has to be inside zone. I don't think the quarterback should keep this, but we're going to have to. They had nobody in the slot. Jones ends up getting enough. That's the reason why I said it has to be inside zone. It has to be a give to the running back there, is because if they have a player in the slot, we're automatically tackled for loss. Whereas if we give it to the running back there, he can fall forward, maybe get a yard or 2, and then it's 4th and 1 as opposed to 4th and 2 or 3, maybe even 4, depending on how many yards we lose. We're going to call for read option here. See, they're bringing up a defender into the nickel. That's a problem. But they both read the quarterback, giving Anthony Holmes an easy path up the middle, and we get 7. If they had the defensive end crash down and the slot just played the quarterback, it would have been an easy gain. But this is not actually read option. It's another zone read as it goes to Troy Jones, but the read was only going to be the running back. So it looks the same, but it's not the same. There's really not actually a read or an option there. It's just an inside zone run. 1st and goal. Northwestern stacking the box, and it's going to be successful. Jones loses a yard. We're going to have to get a little bit more creative down here in the low red zone. Spread things out a little bit, because when we're so predictable and we're just it's going to be a run up the middle, Northwestern has better players, better athletes. They're able to counter really, really easily. So when we spread things out, we're able to actually create a little bit more space in which to operate. Here's a run up the middle. Troy Jones with the big time power. Runs over a couple Wildcats and we are into the end zone for our first touchdown in quite some time. It's good to get back on the board here when we're actually playing the game. And the extra point is good as well. It is 10-3 Royals. Home field advantage coming up clutch so far. We just need to play better defense. I know we've only had, one possession worth of defense so far, but we let them drive down the field really easily. We played bend but don't break defense, which worked out. We only allowed, a field goal, but a 3-and-out would be amazing. A turnover would be amazing. Somebody make a special play. Show me you want it. A sack would be great. Kind of set up that 3-and-out. And they're going to go 2-by-2. Still could be a run. Howard in motion. He's going to come back into the backfield, and it is a run up the middle, and there is plenty of space. We got to get back there with Price. He's still going, and eventually tackled around midfield, but it's a 25-yard pickup. It's a good play call. Oh, that's big. Took away the quarterback and the running back, some type of speed option, and the quarterback took a big hit. Evan Ward needs to go into the intensive care ward of the hospital. Send him to the infirmary. People call it that? I don't think so. It just sounded like I was born in the 1800s. Myers gets it. I'm not sure that Ward is the best passer. I know he's 5 for 5, but only 37 yards. He's been really conservative, and we have seen a lot of run after catch. I don't know that he's really going to, cook us with his arm today. And they're going to go 5 wide. Guaranteed pass, unless we see, quarterback draw or something. We're over the middle, and that is wide open. That's a good throw, and then Steele with a ton of yards after catch. I talked about this guy's arm. That's not even his arm. We're playing a zone defense, and they just go vertical. They get down the field. It's an easy throw, and then the receiver does the rest. Here's a lob. Turnaround, Price. Here, Hodges catches it for 6. Going to be 2nd and goal. We can blitz heavy here. They're still going to spread things out a bit, but they do have 2 in the backfield. I'd be surprised if this weren't a run here, but they are going to pass. And there are open options like Dave Smith. The tight end scores the touchdown. Northwestern going to tie it. 3-minute offense. That's time enough to run the football. We just have to not punt. That's the big thing. We can run the ball. We can call screens, which are like the run of the pass, like the same way chicken is the, the fish of the hen house. What am I saying? Fish is the chicken of the sea. There you go. Troy Jones gets 10. Fish or chicken is the fish of the hen house. Yeah, good stuff there. I need to be committed. It is 1st and 10. 2.5 minutes to play. We're around midfield. Controller disconnecting like my brain. And we are going to pass, but we're going to roll out. We're going to throw. And Jones gets 2. We would have been better off just running. They're leaving a bunch of open space here. Let's throw to the backside. It's Antoine Davis. Backside of that play wide open. They kind of shifted everybody down and in. And they left Antoine Davis wide open. We've tried to connect with him a couple times. We're finally able to make something happen. We get a fresh set of downs. We're going to run again. They leave Dan Sims wide open. Vanilla Vic, the most electric player in college football, gets 23. And we are driving. The team is rallying around Dan Sims, and he's up near 100 yards rushing. If you don't play contain, we will take advantage. Now, they will end up adapting. So that play is not going to be there forever. But while it is there, we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to roll out. Sims evading would-be tacklers. And wow, what a great adjustment by the corner. Is read option stupid on 2nd and 10? I don't think it is. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to adjust here. Do get it to the running back. And there is plenty of space for Holmes. 3rd and 3. Are they going to have somebody in the slot? They are. I don't really think we can safely run the football here. We're going to get back to some type of mesh. And I'm not afraid to roll out and get it to Jones. We're going to see what's open. You got to stay in. There's Jones up the field. Big first down for Troy Jones. And now the playbook is kind of open again. And by open, I mean read option, halfback dive, fullback dive, potentially. We actually go to read option here. I don't want anyone to change because now they're going to bring somebody into the slot. Can we get Ewing back out there? Ooh, this could be money. See what happens here. We're going to go up the middle. Holmes up the middle and into the end zone for the touchdown. Anthony Holmes, I love you. But bringing like the, I guess, fullback on that so they think it could be going either way, that's not the way to do it. If you make him a blocker, put him in type of, offline H-back type role, he might be able to pick up the slot, giving us free access if we keep it with the quarterback, or if they play the edge, we just go straight up the middle like we did for the touchdown. That's big. Purdue and Wisconsin is a really good-looking game right now, but if we can just hold on to this lead for 17 seconds, we're actually going to go into halftime with a lead for once, which is incredible to even think about, and hopefully we make that happen. I think we're going to. 13 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if they got something going here, but I hope they just give up. Just give up. They do get the football to start the second half, but I don't think that's going to matter because we've already won this game. Now, obviously, they could certainly take the lead back, but it won't matter for, going into the halftime with the lead or not. So, obviously, we're in a great spot. 3 seconds to play. I know he's 9 for 9 for about 100 yards, but keep making this guy throw the football, and I feel like we're in a good spot. He's going to lob it up deep. There is actually space, and that is tipped multiple times, and thankfully it falls incomplete. That is the half. 17-10 as the two 1-5 teams battle it out. And currently, we're getting the better of them somehow. It's just, I think we've had one more possession, really. That's all it comes down to. Good clock management. We had about as picture perfect of a first half as you can have without actually getting a stop. And here is the start of the second half. Northwestern back to return. They'll have a little bit of space here, and they'll see if they can find something. As Myers cuts to the outside, Holland's in pursuit. You're going to have to dive, and the touchdown saving tackle is made. It is a monster return for Myers, but a monster save of the touchdown. Unbelievable play, and that could end up being a huge difference maker in this game. Takes more time off the clock, and maybe they don't even end up getting into the end zone here. I cannot overstate how important of a tackle that was. They love going 5 wide. Hodges into the backfield. That looked like some type of RPO, honestly. I didn't even know they had that in this game. But very cool play. They only get 4 yards. It's 3rd and 2. Again going 5 wide. I like to pass commit when they do this, but they keep bringing somebody into the backfield and running the ball out of it. This time it's a QB draw. Stop breaking tackles, Smith. Huge stop of Evan Ward. And it's 4th and 2. Somebody got there first. Awesome play to slow him down. Obviously, we can't count on anyone to make an open field tackle, but that is a huge stop to just slow him down by Wilkerson there. And then look at Smith coming over. Big one-on-one tackle. Saves the first down. And Northwestern just going to try a field goal. But at the college level, this is where it starts to not be a gimme. Give me a false start. It is a false start, and that's going to back them up even more, making this an even tougher field goal. False start on the field goal is really tough. Now, they can still certainly drill this, right? But this is a 45-yard field goal at the college level. There is no guarantee that this is in. Wind moving to the left. Here's the kick, and it is down the middle and short. No good. The false start ends up coming up clutch. Just under the crossbar. And no good. As I said, that touchdown saving tackle on the kickoff was massive. And then it's a huge false start, obviously. Jones still on his feet. Look at Troy Jones. I keep passing on first down, but they're short passes. They might as well be runs. Stop yelling at me, please. Definitely need to go up by a possession here. There's Troy Jones. Nice gain of 10+. We're trying to take time off the clock. We're at nearly 200 rushing yards. Troy Jones starting to get it going a little bit here as well. And of course, Our backup running back has been great. Love what Anthony's been doing. And we'll just keep trying to move the chains. There's Troy Jones again. 27 runs to 12 passes. Here comes Anthony Holmes. We'll give him a touch. Up the middle. I don't know if I want to say it, but I'll throw it out there. I think Anthony Holmes might be our most explosive running back. Jones has showed a little bit more power. Oh, this is going to get stopped. We got to just hand it off to Jones. That's a first down. That's what I'm talking about. The read was not necessarily to go to Troy Jones there, but we knew we could probably end up getting a couple yards as opposed to getting stopped, and that's big on third down. Jones has a little bit more power. I honestly think that Holmes has a little bit more speed. Here's a run. Troy Jones. It's another first down. We've seen him fumble before. Need to avoid that, but he's having a big game, and he's probably about to go over 100 yards if we just keep doing what we're doing right now. Let's run right. We got another offensive lineman in there. We got blockers up the middle. Troy Jones spinning ahead. Gets 8. It is first down after first down after first down. Now, we know we're playing a really bad defense, and they've made a couple plays, but this is as good as we've looked this year. We've looked just great for the most part. Blocking's been awesome. Even Jimmy Gordon, our 4th string running back, is getting a touch. Of course, our 3rd string, if you watched last episode, is done for the season. Broke a vertebrae in his back. Don't know if he's ever going to play football again. 2nd and 5. Troy Jones in there. Cutting back. Getting another first down. And yeah, this is what you like to see. Run after run after run after run, and it is working. However, Northwestern stacking the box about as much as you could. We're going to spread things out, and we're just going to throw it quickly. There's Troy Jones, and it's a touchdown. Troy Jones, 2-yard reception, just a receiving touchdown. Reception. Big time score for Troy Jones. Thought he would go over 100 on the ground, but nope. It's 2 extra yards as a receiver as he continues to impact the game through the air and on the ground as well. Nebraska beat number 11 Ohio State. It's a big time Big Ten matchup. A couple going on today. Still interested to see what goes on in that Wisconsin-Purdue game. And we got a 24-10 lead. This is almost unbelievable right now. And there's another big return. We got to take a better angle. Switch me to 35. Taylor diving. Saves a touchdown, but there is a flag. This one might be coming all the way back. It's clipping, and that's why they had that big return in the first place. So it's coming back. Northwestern goes from about our 15 to their own 15. And I would say it's going to eat up a lot more clock, even if they're able to move the football down the field. We have Crooks in. Hopefully we can steal the football back. Oh my God, Young. But there's another flag, and I fear this one might be coming back again. Nope, it's not. It's a face mask. So they're going to get an extra 15. And just like that, they're at about midfield. But that is the end of the third quarter. 24-10. Looking for win number 2, and we're in a good spot to do it. 8 minutes to go. A stop here, and I feel really good. Because we're going to be able to burn clock on our next possession. Even if we don't get a first down, we're going to be able to take a couple of minutes off the clock. And that's kind of all we need to do right now. We have a 2-possession lead with 8 minutes to go. Obviously, we could end up selling this. But we're in a really good position to win. You know, our ESPN win probability is probably, up around 70% right now, if I had to guess. It is in a really, really good spot. But at the same time, we can't quit right now. We got to keep going. To counter run, Young up the middle. That's going to keep working. If they want to run the ball successfully, they're going to be able to do it every time. 8 rushes for 101. We just can't tackle this guy. Or any running back that they have, in fact. Or any running back that any team has. It's read option. Ward with plenty of space. 2nd and 2. But the clock is not on their side. We're under 7 minutes. Again, if we get the football back, we can take, I would say, at least 2 minutes off the clock. And still have the lead. Big hit by Price. If we can just manage to make this drive last a little longer. Get them under 6 minutes. As again, they're going 5 wide. Trips left. It's quarterback drive or draw. And Evan Ward takes a big hit. Wesley Price railed him. The price is wrong for Ward. 6 minutes to go. Just take a little bit more time off the clock. Come on. Just a little bit more. We got to collapse this line here. Nope. Mike Mitchell walks right in. Northwestern going to bring it back to a touchdown game. I just don't think that took long enough. That was an easy drive for them. And now we have the burden of needing to get a couple of first downs. Oh, Holton nearly blocks that. That was almost incredible. But that happens a lot, and they never block it. So 6 minutes. Northwestern can stop the clock. They have 3 timeouts. I was really hoping to hold them to a field goal there. And Rivera has a ton of space. There goes Steve Rivera. It's a big-time return. And that does hurt us in some ways because there's less clock to chew, but obviously helps us in other ways, in ways that we probably care about a bit more because it gets us that much closer to scoring another touchdown. Now, a field goal would be awesome, but we cannot count on any kicker to kick a field goal for us, and that is not a good start. They're just not covering receivers. Backside of the play again, it's Antoine Davis. We got a block by Ewing to the outside. There goes Antoine Davis down the sideline, stiff-arming Antoine Davis for 31. Talked him up earlier. It's the second catch he's made now, and they're just not covering him. They help to the inside a ton after leaving guys uncovered clearly in some type of a weird zone blitz defense, and we're just able to exploit it easily and get big-time plays. Under 5 minutes to play. Jones in motion, handoff up the middle. There's Anthony Holmes. That might be a face mask as well. That looked like a face mask. He got dragged down violently, but no call. Just over 4 to play. Certainly not going to call a timeout. Here's a run up the middle. We got a block as well. And Troy Jones gets another first down. So clock stops momentarily while the ball is spotted. Troy Jones now goes over 100 yards rushing. And we are under 4 minutes. Let's go read option, but this probably goes to the running back almost no matter what. And we're just going to hand it off to him. I'm all about the clock just ticking away at this point. As Tim Meadows gets the tackle. Any SNL fans out there? Not now, but, you know, 90s and 2000s Tim Meadows. What a guy. He's in some movies as well. You might recognize his face. Here's 2nd and 10. Why are we passing? And we're sacked. I realize, I'm like, what are we doing? Clock going to keep ticking, but we're not really in field goal range. So we could run the ball here. Or we could actually try to convert, which I might prefer. Just over 2 minutes. I need yards. This is all the makings of a rollout and a throw. They're going to blitz, but they leave the outside open. Sims back up the middle, makes a man miss, doesn't fumble the ball, still on his feet apparently. He was resting on a Northwestern player, and it is a massive play. 4th and 4, Northwestern has called a timeout. We obviously have to try the field goal here, and this is a huge attempt. We got to line it up. Here's the attempt. The kick is good. Massive field goal as Arkansas has beat ranked Arkansas State. Okay. Very interesting. But here in Riverside, we got a 2-possession lead with 2 minutes to go. Northwestern with 2 timeouts. They're going to need a really quick score and then an onside kick. They can play for a field goal if they have to, but of course that touchdown would be preferred. And it's another big return. We're just trying to stop that touchdown. That might be a face mask at the end of that. They might get an extra 15. Oh, it's clipping. It's coming back again. Northwestern back to their own 14. They keep having these big returns, but they're aided by penalties, which completely cancel them out. And now with under 2 minutes to play, they have a long way to go 86 yards they're going to need. If that is indeed on the 14-yard line. They're taking a shot deep. And Wade right there. And as I told you, as smart as he is, as much as he knows what's going on, completely lacks any ability to make a play. He's got great play rec, great coverage, great awareness, awful speed, awful hands, awful strength. Terrible player. But, man, what a coach he'll make one day. And they're going to take a deep shot. Burton in coverage. And that is another big play by Northwestern. No matter who they go to. I mean, it's going to be a big play. If they want to move the football, they're going to be able to. We just stink. Minute and 40. They're trying to screen here. It looks like it. We're all over it. Thomas ends up working up the field. Andrew Thomas, the left tackle of the Giants. Wow. Playing college football nowadays. Good for him. 2nd and 3. Man coverage across the board. Stop the touchdown. Nope. Quick score by the Wildcats. They brought it back to a field goal game. That happened so quickly. And they're going to need an onside kick. We got to be ready for it. They have 2 timeouts, but 2 timeouts is not going to be good enough. They need the onside kick, or else they're going home sad. I just don't know if I trust our hands team. Here is the game. Northwestern for the kick. Recovered by Jones. Just go down. Stephen Jones recovers. And that should give us the win. They wanted us to run the ball. I'm going quarterback kneel. I don't know why I wouldn't. Northwestern can call timeouts, of course. But they can only call 1 timeout. I don't know why they actually want me to run a play. It's just too risky. Now, I recognize where the clock is. I'm totally comfortable with where the clock is. They've stopped the clock for the final time. Right? I know we've given up any ability to actually get a first down here. Again, I'm very comfortable with it. This was all designed. We're going to take this all the way down. Northwestern now has no timeouts. And we're going to be able to punt the football back. They have 30 seconds to go, hopefully the length of the entire field. Again, very comfortable with my decision here. And we'll see if we can get a stop. 29 seconds. They have to get to at least the 30. Their kicker has pretty much no range. But if they're able to get first downs like that, obviously it puts them in a better spot. We are playing with the old college rules, so you know, the game would be over already if not. But of course they get clock stoppages. And that is a big completion. It's slipping away. Now it seems like maybe I shouldn't have knelt it down, but I've seen Troy Jones fumble too much, and I do not want to risk it. Although maybe we should have. It's another big catch. Oh my God. We had to hold on for 30 seconds. That was it. 30 seconds. Big catch by George Myers. He's down inside the 5. They're going to have to clock it. And they're getting in position to do exactly that. There's the spike with 1 second to go. That's the difference. 1 second. And the whole reason I wanted to kneel it is because we knew the kicker couldn't make it. But they go about 70 yards in 25 seconds and drill an easy field goal to tie it. And here we are in overtime. Listen, I know what it is. I played not to lose instead of to win. I just know, and you guys can disagree. I'm sure you're going to. But I know when the CPU knows you're going to run the ball, I've seen what happens. And I just really, really, really did not want to risk a fumble or a big hit, or they were, you know, force a 3 and out anyway. I was really just worried about a fumble. I've seen it happen too often, and we end up paying as a result. I know that decision's going to be criticized to just kneel the football down, but I thought our defense would be able to do anything, and it didn't happen. But our offense has been so good this game, maybe I should have just, you know, tried to go for it. But I also do trust us in overtime. I don't know, but we did have a real opportunity to win the game. and we couldn't get a stop on defense. And you know what? Probably should have just tried to get a first down as opposed to giving up. I just thought we'd be playing it safe, and I thought we'd be able to do something. But if we win the game, it doesn't end up mattering. I'll be criticized relentlessly because it didn't work out. But I played too scared. You know, it was a pussy move. I'm not going to lie to you. It was. I didn't want to fumble, and we're playing in overtime as a result. I'm lining up to go for 2. We're going to call a timeout. We're going to try this read option version. Holmes out to block. I'm going for 2 because I want to win the game. But it's devastating if we don't get it. Here's the attempt. Up the middle. Jones is shut down. Oh, this is going to be a brutal loss. Coach Dangus's decision-making will surely be questioned. But, like, why be conservative at the end of the game to win and then be aggressive here? It's an overcorrection, is exactly what it is. 2nd and 6. I trust the defense. I don't know why I would. Why would I trust the defense? To screen! It's going to be a touchdown. Oh, it's not. It's going to be 2nd and 1. I read it, but couldn't make a play, and then I thought it was definitely a score. 2nd and 1. We really need a sack. We need somebody to make a play here. Hodges in motion, and we're all over it! Murphy with a big tackle. We can't allow a touchdown. Can't allow one. So we have to play super hyper aggressive here on defense. We simply cannot allow a touchdown. Moss into the backfield, sacks Ward. What a play. Moss screaming after the quarterback. And it's 4th and 6. Game on the line. It's got to be a pass. We got to figure out a way to stop it. Here is the game. Going over the middle. Wilkerson misses the tackle, and they're in for the score. Oh, it's a devastating loss. It's devastating. Extra point is good, and we have lost the game. I know. I don't know if there's ever been a more, like... I don't know if it's ever appeared that I've thrown for content more than this one. But it was just a couple of miscalculations. I really didn't think they'd be able to drive down the field in 25 seconds. I thought the punt would be slightly better. It was not. And then, why did I go for 2 in overtime? I just thought we could get it, is what it comes down to. I thought we could get it. And obviously, we didn't. And we threw away just an overall awesome performance from the team. Completely threw it away. Yeah, that is a bad one. That's a bad one. But whatever. No sacks, no picks. Our defense didn't get a stop the entire game. I don't know why I thought they would be able to when we needed one. Our offense was honestly the strength in this one, and I kneeled the ball down as opposed to actually trying to win the game. It was a no balls decision. We have a bye in week 9. I'm not going to defend the decisions that were made in that game. You know, all I can say is it seemed like the right move at the time. I thought, you know, they just wouldn't have the time to do what they did. But you got to factor in that we just simply can't play defense. So it was never going to work out for us. It was stupid. And then, again, the 2-point conversion was an overcorrection. It is year 1. We're going to be losing some games, but that's one we should have won. No question. We're also getting our first scheduled recruits on campus week 11 for the Colorado State game. There is an opportunity to get a lot of these guys week 10 against Florida State. I don't want to do that. We have no chance, I don't think, to beat Florida State, so there are going to be some players visiting whenever we play them, but I'd prefer if we didn't have that happen, just because they're just too good. So the guys I don't particularly want, they can visit against Florida State. and watch us get massacred, I guess. But for the guys that we actually want a real chance to get, those guys should be visiting against Colorado State. That's the goal right now, at least. And I don't think we're far away from earning some more commitments. Justin Lingard is one that I absolutely want from Oakland. I think we're gonna end up getting him. Alex Toure from Iowa, the safety. Now, it's a battle for some of these corners. It certainly would be. Delando Ross is a big battle right now, and he looks better than his overall would dictate, I would say. Levert Abraham is certainly a great indication of somebody that looks better than their overall would say, and it's another big battle for him against Utah. He visits week 11. We're losing right now. Levert Abraham might be somebody that we end up losing out on. I'm trying to stay in the battle. It might be a losing battle, but I'm trying. And we do have some recruits really ready to visit. Now, a Caleb Pass commits to Ball State, so we lose out on an outside linebacker that I thought looked pretty good. And we do have a couple prospects visiting today. Tim Allen and Josh Sidaway. They're not big-time guys. Tim Allen, there's no chance we get, so I'm going to take him off my board probably after this. And then Josh Sidaway here is just not very good. So another guy where it's like, why is he on my board? Just in case we can get some depth. I guess that's really it. But we are the new #1 school on Miles Horst, which is really nice. Kahi Inoke, the big-time receiver, 96 speed at 6'4", 230. Not great hands, but a good route runner. Could be a really good player for us. He's only a 3-star, but he is ready to visit and pretty much lock in being a Riverside Royal. So I think we're going to throw him on that Colorado State visit. Linwood Tapley I do want, but it's a competitive visit with another corner. We're going to throw him in on this Florida State game, which is going to be the very next episode. So Linwood Tapley would be a big commit to get. This is someone we absolutely want. 6 foot, about 200 pounds from Escondido, California. Pipeline State, our state. Great coverage. He is the best corner in the class that we're going after, I would say. The best speed, the best coverage, the best player maybe overall. It would be a huge get. We just need to convince him to not go to the military. It seems like that's what it's going to be. We are still battling for Delando Ross, but Fresno State continues to kind of be the leader in that recruitment. And he wouldn't be like the worst loss of all time, but I still want to get him. Alex Toure looks very good, a really solid player. Don't know if he's quite as good as Linwood Tapley overall at DB. It's just his big-time tackling makes his overall real high, which is nice. And I guess we'll probably throw him in, I guess, for the Florida State game. And the reason I'm going to do it earlier, even though we have a less, chance to get some of these extra points, is because I think we can earn his commitment, like, now. So that's what we're going for. And remember, he's only a 3-star recruit. Justin Lingard, also only a 3-star. And his visit's going to be week 11. But this is another guy who I think we're going to end up getting. We're in a really good spot right now. So our class is going to be getting a lot better in a hurry. Making up ground on Cameron Hinton. I think we're making up ground on the quarterback Garrett Geary, which we're actually #1 now. Do we give up on Levert Abraham? It would suck, but we are losing ground. Utah's got a big bonus. They gave him a scholarship. He's coming in for a visit week 13. I just don't know if this is somebody we can actually get. And it sucks to give up on him because he's really good. I think we're losing points by staying in that battle. I might stay in one more week to see what happens. But that is, it's not a recruitment that's going very well for us. Not at all. I am going to take some points off of Toure and Lingard. Now, these are like the big commits that I need. But also, like, we're setting the pace right now. We're setting the pace. So if we take our points off, I don't think that makes us any more likely to lose these guys. But hopefully it makes us more likely to get a guy like Mac Chung. Although we could use those points to see if we can actually get a punter. Maybe that would be good. We need somebody to play special teams for us. He looks like he's probably going to Oklahoma. But we could potentially make up some ground. And in fact, we're going to offer him a scholarship. See if that moves the needle at all. And that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Still only sitting on 2 commits in the class, but they are ones that I like. Brandon Jones is a 6'4", 235-pound middle linebacker from Alaska with great speed. Tackling's an issue. Got to develop that aspect of his game. But he's a very good athlete. And then Daniel Belcher is clearly the crown jewel of the class, plus 19 gem. Speed isn't amazing, but everything else seems to be. So he's going to be a great player one way or another. He's going to play running back. He's going to start at running back as a true freshman. Should be a ton of fun, but that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We're coming up to the end of the season right now. It's week 10. We have this game, Colorado State, and then Kentucky, and before finishing it out at number 14, Purdue. So 4 more games of season 1. This episode was a throw. Sometimes I make dumb decisions, and this ended up being one of those times. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.